Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm joined today by Team TaylorMade and Canada's most successful golfer. 13 wins, 3 Olympics, and 2 majors.
That's right.
Brooke Henderson is with me on the channel. Today we're going to do a deep dive into your brand new bag, a what's in the bag. What are you most excited about so far with the new clubs?
I'm really excited. Yeah, getting a first look this morning, the Qi35s. The driver was really nice there on the range, hitting them. I'm just really excited for hopefully gaining a little bit more distance and, you know, just overall consistency.
So you've had a long time on tour now as a player, been very consistent, awesome golfer. How have you maintained the consistency in the bag? Has it changed much over the years with, I know there's a hybrid that we've got in here somewhere or in one of these bags, but have you maintained what you use? Yeah,
for sure. I feel like we're always just trying to tweak it slightly. So, you know, at the end of the season, which would be right now, we're just trying to decide on, you know, parts of the game that could be a little bit better. So I recently switched irons and was able to get a little bit higher ball flight, so the ball was stopping a little bit quicker, which was great. And then, like I said earlier, you know, with driver, I'm always just trying to gain a little bit more distance. And so I'm really happy when TaylorMade comes out with new clubs and I can gain, you know, a couple of yards.
So let's start on the irons, because your greens in reg numbers, now you're a very high player on the LPGA when it comes to greens in reg. What prompted the change? You just wanted more height?
I mean, greens in reg, I'm really proud of that stat. I feel like I'm a really decent ball striker, and I like to give myself a lot of good birdie looks. It's definitely the strength of my game. So, you know, going to these irons, I was looking for a little bit higher ball flight so the ball would stop a little bit quicker, and just overall consistency and accuracy. And I feel I've had these in the bag for about a month and a half now, and I feel like I've really made some big gains.
Okay. And P7CB, what were you playing prior to this?
The MCs.
Okay.
P7 MCs.
And you run 5 iron through to pitching wedge on these with the NS Pro Modus 3 in there, the 105 stiff flex. What was the process of getting into the shafts? Did you change these as well as the heads, or was it?
I've actually played these shafts for almost 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable with the shaft. So it was a quick change, just changed the head. Yeah, I had a day up in Toronto and worked with the team up there and felt like these were a great fit.
With the Z grip and the reminder down the back, talk to me about that. Obviously it's something that's important to you. I saw your face light up on that. Why rib down the back? But in these test clubs, it's a tall velvet. So what's going on with that?
For sure. You know, I love the align. I love feeling that rib grip in the back. Just gives me a lot of confidence, you know, when I'm lining it up and gripping the shot. It just feels like I can really line it up really square. And just throughout the swing, you know, I just love that feeling back here. So I just switched to these specific grips about a month and a half ago too, but I love the rib and I've played that for a really long time.
Why did you switch out of the Tour Velvet into these?
I like just the feel of this. It's a little bit rougher.
Harder compound, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Same amount of tape, same build-up?
Yep.
And then I know you've got the rib align in the pitching wedge, but in the 48 you go to the round.
Yes.
What's the reasoning behind that?
So for my wedges, 48, 54, and 60, I want to be able to use the face a little bit more, you know, open it up, close it down if necessary for little shots around the greens.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want to feel that in the back. I want to be able to kind of manipulate the face a little bit more and just be comfortable that way.
So out on tour, you will chip with a 48, but with the set wedge, you may not chip with that?
Yeah, not too often. It would just be kind of a rare occurrence.
And then there looks like quite a bit of offset on these. Have you bent these stronger?
Yes, yeah, the pitching and the 9 were bent, I think, a degree or a degree and a half to be a little bit stronger to fill some yardage gaps that I had. So,
and then that's why you carry the 48, because people might be watching this and trying to work out, okay, I've got a set wedge. What was your thinking behind going to a scoring wedge that's on 48? I think just around the greens, I love the way this looks and the way it interacts with the turf. You know, even long bunker shots or, you know, those pitches, I feel like this suits my game a little bit better because I'm really not using the pitching, you know, too much around the greens. So I kind of tend to go more towards the 48 or 54, and then when I'm in those tough spots, the 60 to hit it high. Now, you've got standard bounce on these wedges. Do you play all over the world, had success all over the world. Do you change the bounce when you go to different golf courses? I don't. I just kind of go to the course early in the week and try to figure out how it's interacting with the turf and kind of just change my game to suit the golf course. How would you have someone who's watching this test wedge bounce? What would be your #1 recommendation? For me, I just love when something feels really good.
And so, you know, when I have new wedges and I'm testing stuff out, I know pretty quickly right away if I'm getting the strike that I want, and so I just try to go off feel.
Now, you mentioned earlier when these are new, they're very spinny.
Yes.
So how do you control, like, when do you change wedges during a season? How often?
These wedges are really great. I haven't really had to change as often as I have in the past because the grooves stay good for a really long time.
Yeah.
But probably 3 or 4 times a year I am switching.
All 3 of them, or just the higher lofted ones?
Yeah, usually just 60 and 54.
Okay.
Just to get a little bit more spin around the greens, and I love that feel. When I switched to these wedges, I definitely got a lot more spin, and it was really exciting for me, you know, because when I was in those tough spots or hitting out of the bunkers, the ball was spinning really nicely, and I could stop it a lot quicker when I was in those tough situations. So it makes me excited, and it can allow me to be a little bit more aggressive when I'm in the fairway, because I know I can get up and down from the tricky spots.
So I noticed in the test bag here, and this is a bag from the US Open, right?
That's right.
And I know that Brittany, your caddy, said it was a little bit lighter.
Yes.
That's why she liked it, which is always good as a caddy. But you've got some test 6 irons. What's the story behind this? We've got a P790, a P770, and a P7TW.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was really excited to see Tiger's Club in there. That's really cool. I would love to give that a try.
Well, that looks like it's in your spec. So
later
I mean,
today.
Yeah, exactly. Is that something you could see yourself moving towards?
Yeah, it's really pretty. I am pretty confident and comfortable in the irons that I have right now. But it definitely is a very gorgeous golf club.
Yeah.
And I would like to, you know, hit a couple with it.
Do you know, I found out this week that the numbers on the bottom of his irons are bigger, so under pressure he doesn't pull the wrong club.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty awesome stat, right?
That's very cool.
Now you're checking out, seeing if I'm bang on.
I don't know if you're...
Don't know if it's bigger versus this, but we made everything bigger, I think, to align. But versus the prior set he had, they made the numbers bigger on the bottom.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
That under pressure,
fun fact.
Yeah, exactly. Fun fact. I've got more fun facts, but this is your what's in the bag, not his. So this is stuck in from the old bag that we're still working and testing on. Something you're very fond of. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hybrid is really important to me out on tour. Sometimes the par 4s play pretty long and the par 3s. So you want to have a very dependable and versatile hybrid. And so, you know, for me, being able to take not full swings and still have the ball go pretty high and land pretty soft is important. So the hybrid has to be a trusty one. Okay.
And how do you make your hybrid selection? Do you go in the rough first? Do you look at it on the fairway? How long does it take you to get into a club like this? Because this is a 24 degree, it's a 65S Tour Hybrid KBS prototype. How did you make the decision to go, right, I'm going to play this one and not the other model?
Yeah, for me, I'm really looking for that height and kind of the softness when it lands, and also to fit my yardage gaps.
Okay.
So that's really important to me when I'm testing, and, you know, fairway first, because that's where I'm always hitting from.
Well, you 73%, I think, fairway accuracy. I mean, that's straight, really straight.
Thanks. But of course, you know, you want to test it in all different areas out of the rough, and I actually use the hybrid a lot around the greens.
Yeah. Oh, really? To chip with?
Yes.
Okay.
So just kind of on the fringe, and so that's also important to me to have a hybrid that I can use that shot.
Okay. The 2 fairway woods, we've got the 2 different models. You can obviously take a look at these. What's the thinking in this? The 5 wood has got a 6S Ventus in it, and then we go for the Tensei K series, also in 60S. In the 3 wood, that's the slightly larger head, the core model. There's another 5 wood there.
But this is kind of where I depend on, you know, the TaylorMade team to, you know, fit me into the right stuff, and I trust that they're gonna, you know, they know my specs, and they know what to give me to optimize my shots.
So you can see with those 2, they'd be the same family, so slightly larger head on those. With this, you have a movable weight in the sole, so you could really dial in a certain spin rate. Obviously, you've got the adjustable sleeve, but now these clubs used to be bonded on tour last year. You've now also got the adjustable sleeve.
And that's really nice.
It's a good tweak that people back home can do to get the right loft for their game, but also you can change it for each golf course you're at too.
Yes.
So if you do go and play in altitude and you need a bit more spin, rather than going with a totally different club, you can then add a little bit of loft on the loft sleeve.
Yeah, it's super helpful. You can kind of change on the fly.
So I mean, I think we'll be looking at, again, it's if you want the smaller profile, then that would be that, which in a 5 wood, which as we've got here, would be something with that weight that you can shove all the way in the front, would be an option. Right. Tell me about this head cover.
Oh, I love this head cover. So one of my friends on tour, Sherman, she's from Thailand, and she had it made for me over in Thailand. And so it's like a mini Brooke, and it has all my sponsors on it, and it's just really fun. And this one I've had for probably 4 years or so, and then I had other versions before that.
Okay, and then the driver, longer than standard.
Yes.
Something you're known for.
Yes, so
How did that come about?
I loved the 48-inch when I used to be allowed to play it, and I'm just always looking for a little bit more distance.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, I'm usually pretty accurate,
Yeah.
so I could afford to have a little bit longer shaft.
Okay.
And then when they made the rule change to the 46-inch being the maximum limit, that's what I went with. So this is 46, and I've been playing it for a couple years now.
Do you have to adjust tee height in order to factor that in?
I went through a lot of different changes when they took those 2 inches away from me, but now I'm just really used to it. So I like to tee it up a little bit higher just to get a little bit more distance too.
And the swing weight, the balance point on that is probably going to be a bit heavier than the set. Again, just something you've embraced over time?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like for me it's just like all feel, and sometimes it takes me, you know, a little bit to kind of get used to it, but I just love being a field player and not trying to get, you know, too technical or know too many things about the swing, but, you know, just kind of feeling it out and going with what works.
Okay, and that's the LS model we can see here. Do you think this will be the one you'll stay with, and how long does it take you to get into a driver?
I mean, it can be pretty quick. I mean, I was hitting this really well on the range, so I'm really excited about it. And maybe a couple tweaks and it'll be ready to go as soon as they'll let me use it. But I do like the smaller head in the driver.
Yeah.
I am interested to, you know, hit the little bit larger head just to see if the numbers are good. But generally, I like the look of a little bit smaller.
Okay. Very patriotic with the flat stick. Tell us the stories behind this. I know you like the putter. You've had it a while now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited about this putter. When I did my fitting about a month and a half ago, they decided that this one would be best for me.
And what were they basing that on? What was the fitting process for that?
It was really cool. I haven't done a fitting like that in a really long time, and there was a lot of different numbers, and it was cool to kind of see my tendencies and where I could be better.
Yeah.
And I actually, the feedback that they gave me, I really took and I've really worked on the last few weeks, and I feel like my putting has really improved. So I feel like that fitting was very beneficial for me.
So information from a fitting you've actually put into your own putting routine.
Yeah.
And what stuff was that? Anything that we can grab on there that would work?
Yeah, a lot of it was alignment.
Okay.
And so, you know, this white stretch right here has been really, really helpful.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just really worked on alignment and being able to use this effectively. And another thing was, as I was using a larger grip before, but they actually said the way I stroke it, it would be more beneficial to go with the smaller grip. And so I put that into play, and yeah, the putting has been a lot better recently.
Okay. And then golf ball, you're in the TP5X, but there's an important logo on here. Any reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I love purple. And I always love sending the heart emojis whenever I'm texting people. And so it just kind of makes me happy. And so I asked them if they would be able to do it. And, you know, Team TaylorMade really came up big. And
fantastic.
It's been really fun to put this into play the last little while.
And what do you get out of the X versus the 5? Like, how did you land on that decision?
Yeah, the X I've been playing for 3 years now. Again, looking for a little bit extra distance, but I still want to maintain that great feel around the greens, and this ball allows me to do that. I definitely picked up yardage with driver, the woods, and the longer irons as soon as I switched. And another big thing is we play in all different conditions out on tour. Big one being lots of times it's very windy, especially when we play overseas. So having a ball that can cut through the winds and isn't affected as much is really important to me.
There's a big emphasis on fitting. There's a big emphasis this year on getting the right golf ball for you, the right driver for you. What would you say to people out there if they're, like, you seem pretty set on these clubs?
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who wants to maximize their golf game? What's the best way to go about it?
Yeah, definitely getting fit. It's really important. It can make big changes in your game, and you know, just finding a club that suits you the best and it can make you really comfortable and confident. And I mean, I love these clubs, and I don't really want to switch too much. But it's taken, you know, a while to find something that I really love, and you know, I'm really excited about it right now.
Awesome. Any trinkets in the golf bag that you keep that are lucky charms, be it markers or?
The markers, I usually use an American quarter, heads up always.
Makes sense being Canadian.
But I've always done that, and I really like it. I always keep a wooden cross in my bag. And then I've had a couple keychains on my bag the last few weeks, just with my name on it. Just kind of fun, and I feel like the fans kind of like to look at them too.
Okay, fantastic, awesome. Well, that's Brooke Henderson's What's in the Bag. You can check everything out about her channel down below. I'll put it in the description. Brooke, thank you so much. It's always great to be around. Amazing to see the improvements with the green and reg, just from changing the irons, and obviously some technique, I'm sure, in there as well. But fantastic. Wish you the best of luck for this season.
Thanks, Trottie.
Thanks.